Good morning and welcome to the Kehillat Shari Torah Halacha review for Thursday, October 29th. For the next few days, we're going to talk about Kriyat Shema al Hamita, Kriyat Shema Shal Hamita, which is the bedtime Shema. You can find the text in your Art Scroll Siddur if you happen to have it there. It begins on page 288, 289. So for our own information, let's just take a quick peek at that text, that series of texts actually. We'll read the introductory paragraph there, and then we'll just look through it, and then we'll see what they say in halachically speaking, which is our text for this time of the day. So the Art Scroll's introduction says as follows: the recital of the Shema immediately before retiring is perceived against protection from the dangers of the night, according to the Talmud, Tractate Brachot, page 5a. The essence of the Shema is the Hamapil Bracha, which comes at the beginning in this Nusach, and the first section of Shema and Ve'ahavta. The recital of the other psalms and verses are of ancient origin. Many of their sources can be traced to the Talmud and earliest halachic treatises such as Kol Bo. A full treatment of the bedtime Shema appears in the Art Scroll edition of Shema. They have a separate freestanding book in addition to the Siddur that has a lot more insight and depth and explanation into the particular configuration of this prayer. So just briefly, let's run through it. If you have it, the text in front of you, you can follow along. Otherwise, I'll just tell you the main paragraphs. The first page, the first couple of passages there's a prayer called Ribono Shel Olam, Master of the Universe, in which we forgive anyone who angered or antagonized or sinned against us in the course of the day, and we hope express the prayer that they forgive us also. So, you know the old adage about not going to bed angry, so this really takes that to a global scale and says that I forgive anybody who made me angry, and I forgive, hopefully that forgiveness comes to me and nobody should be punished on my account. Then we have the bracha of Hamapil. The conclusion of the bracha there is, blessed are you, God, who illuminates the entire world with his glory, but it is talking about the first part of the prayer. The paragraph talks about God who grants us sleep and expresses the prayer, the wish that we lay down to sleep in peace and raise up and we awake the next morning in peace. Then there's Shema Yisrael, Baruch Shem Ve'ahavta. Now we're on page 291. And one line from Psalm 90, V'hinoim Hashem Elokeinu Aleinu, may the pleasantness of God, our God, be upon us. May He establish our handiwork. May He establish. Then the following passage from the book of Psalms, for those of us who are studying Psalms, we know Psalm 91, which we do say at various junctures in the course of the year publicly, but we do say it every night in the bedtime Shema. Psalms 3, verse 2 through 9 is the bottom of the page there. The prayer Hashkivenu, which is familiar to those who daven Ma'ariv, who say the evening prayer. Baruch Hashem Bayom, Baruch Hashem Balayla, blessed is God by day, blessed is God by night. Hamalach HaGoel, which we usually say most years at the time of Kol Hanarim, when all the children come up for an Aliyah on Simchas Torah. Hopefully this coming year from now, that'll be the same. We'll remind ourselves of that again, but that is part of the liturgy here, part of the Nusach. And then there's a number of verses and prayers that are recited 3 times. Psalm 128, and finally Adon Olam. So a lot of this is actually familiar to us. Some of it is specifically written for this, or imported from other parts of the daily and weekly and annual prayer cycle. But a lot of it will look familiar, and for those for whom it isn't, please take a look at it. Now, just to take a quick peek into halachically speaking, the Gemara that we mentioned before at Tractate Brachot says that whoever recites Kriyat Shema before going to sleep is considered as though he holds a double-edged sword in his hand to ward off the forces of evil. Okay, so that gives you just a sense of the importance that the Talmud ascribes to this. So if that's not part of your daily routine, it is a good thing to do. You certainly fulfill the idea of saying these words of Torah when you lie down and when you rise up. Next morning is a different issue, but to get to just to fulfill what it says at nighttime, and night, of course, is the beginning of the Jewish calendrical day. So the first possible mitzvah you have there is saying Shema when it gets dark. Saying the bedtime Shema is a very powerful thing. Also, many use it as a point of stock taking for the day. Just take a minute or 2 or 3 or more and look over the day, evaluate it with its strengths and possibilities, opportunities for growth in days to come and make positive resolutions for the next day and the days to follow. So we'll continue talking about that. Please join us tomorrow for another edition. Have a good day. Bye-bye.